shit show. I was very disappointed. And this was before the season. Both teams looked really good. I would much rather have seen Jaguars versus Denver looked like they didn't belong in the AFC Championship. And that's not Stephen's fault whatsoever. I blame Sean Payton. You have the opportunity to win at home in shitty weather, and you drop the ball. This is what you live for. And quite honestly, no disrespect to the New England Patriots, they even shittier. I don't know how they won that game. Denver lost the game. New England didn't win that game. Denver lost two missed field goals, turnovers everywhere. They made New England look pedestrian, and they still look worse. I mean, it's horrible, and then you go to the Patriots today. The only reason they won was because Drake May's legs. And other than that, who are their wide receivers? Okay, Stephon Diggs, he's not a number one like he was before. Moody is a rookie with a high ceiling, but hasn't really started to reach for it this season. And other than that, Ramondre Stevenson and their tight end, Drake May, I'm not impressed with that at all. And quite honestly, I was very disappointed in the game. They both looked horrible, and it didn't matter whether it was snowing or not. The first half, they all both looked like crap, and in the second half, they looked crappier.
It was a tough game, and it was fun to see the progression weather-wise, right? Somewhat sunny, cloudy, and as it continually got worse. And it's funny, at the beginning, they were both, doing pretty much about the same. But as the weather got worse and worse, it seemed that it started, in my opinion, it started to favor New England. And especially that clutch interception at the end, towards the end of the game by Christian Gonzalez, phenomenal play, changed the whole game.
And the ball was overthrown. The ball was overthrown. And it was overthrown for a back shoulder pass, and it was it was overthrown for a back shoulder pass, and it was underthrown for a fly.
And again, I think it would have been a different game, and I think everybody agrees with me, if Bo Nix had been.
Bo Nix was playing the Broncos would be in the Super Bowl right now.
I think it would,
because he would have had 150 yards rushing.
I think they would have won on his legs, and I don't care how good people said Stedham was or could be, or I mean, it just showed that he had been out of football for a while, or not out of it, but not practicing, not with first team reps, and you could just see it. It'd be really good. The Patriots, you got to give them credit. I mean, they came into this game and they had been doing well all year long, and they hit their Broncos defense, and it was tough going for a while, but they were able to pull it out. Again, clutch interception. That was the game, right?
Trash.
Let's talk NFC. Talk to me.
Well, plain and simple, the NFC Championship game was the Super Bowl.
Quite different, wasn't it?
It was the Super Bowl. The two best teams were in the NFC this season, and it clearly showed in the championship games. And quite honestly, I think New England fans are going to get pissed off at me, but Seattle has no business losing this game. And as a matter of fact, I've been on their bandwagon in the playoffs. The only reason why I won the playoffs is because the Rams made complete sense to win that game. You had a veteran coach who's been there before. You have a veteran QB who has been there before. You have a veteran team who's been there before. And the Seattle Seahawks are a team that you couldn't trust Darnold just yet, no matter how good he's been so far. And even over last year's brilliant performance, the game that could have won the Vikings the division, he lost. the game, their first playoff game, he looked back like the Sam Darnold in his second year playing for the hapless New York Jets. Hapless.
Hapless.
So with Seattle and those intangibles against them, I went with the veteran presence of the Rams and their experience. Clearly, we saw that the Seattle Seahawks are more talented at the end of the day. And that's what wins you games. They are more talented along the defensive front. They are more physical in the defensive backfield. And Sam Darnold performed. What did I say in our last show about the championship games? Sam Darnold will not get away winning a game if he was 11 of 17 for 124 yards again. Yeah, he had to perform.
And he did.
And he did. He had almost 300 yards passing. He had some touchdowns. And he's the reason why the Seattle Seahawks took down the Rams. And I really do believe that the Seattle Seahawks and their defense are going to create turnovers. Drake May, make him look like a second-year quarterback, and are going to run away with the Super Bowl by more than 21 points. That's what I'm seeing. But again, the NFC was Seattle and the Rams, clearly the two best teams in the NFC, and I think Seattle's going to win the Super Bowl.
I think if the Rams had had more time, they would have pulled it out. Again, they got in that position, so it was unfortunate for them. They just didn't have time to finish that drive. But at the end of the day, Seattle came out on top. The great defense. You got to give him credit. You got to give Sam Darnold credit for what he did, what he's been able to accomplish all year long. Come a long way, and hopefully it puts to rest some of the doubts about his skills. We'll see.
And how about this? I don't mean to interrupt you.
We'll see how it goes in the Super Bowl.
But let me tell you, how about this? In a quarterback draft class that featured Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, and Baker Mayfield, and Sam Darnold, that Sam Darnold is the first quarterback to go to the Super Bowl.
How about that? Right. Think about
the most scrutinized of the draft.
Think about those
one
names.
Who wrote him off and who still didn't believe in him prior to the NFC Championship game. And I was one of them because he has to perform. You have to perform 289 yards and pass for 2 touchdowns and you win the game.
We were all skeptics. After the disastrous season at the Jets, I mean, it was a shit show.
Wherever he's been was a shit show until the last 2 years.
I mean, and then he got to Minnesota and he started proving people wrong, right? And then I think Minnesota made a major error by dealing him away to Seattle.
They let him go. It was a free agent signing. They let him go.
Yeah, I think that was the big mistake.
And look at Vikings. They're at home for Christmas. They're at home for the holidays. What would their season have been if they kept Sam Darnold? That's all that was the problem, was quarterback play. J.J. McCarthy is not the answer, but that's for another show.
So let's see what happens here. I know that the odds makers have Seattle winning. I think it's going to be a closer game than people think. Again, I think the New England's got a good defense. Drake May is a good quarterback. He's capable. He can move, and he can hit his receivers. So I think it's going to be closer than people think. I don't think it's going to be a blowout by any means. It's going to be interesting, and it's going to be exciting. Looking forward to it.
So let me ask you a question. Coaching, who has the advantage?
I'm gonna lean on Vrabel for having been a seasoned coach with the Titans before he took over. He had a winning record over in Tennessee. People forget that. And I think his coaching ability it gives him a bit of an edge. But at the end of the day, it comes down to performance. Who can perform better, right? Who can execute?
Well, defensively, who has the edge?
I'm going to go with Seattle. I think they have the edge.
QB play, who has the edge?
I again, you're talking Darnold versus Drake May, a very gifted second-year quarterback and a seasoned quarterback who's been through a lot, but who was proven to be good, right, and accurate. So that's why I think it's going to be closer.
Offense, who has the edge?
I'm going to go with Seattle offensive. I think they have a better group of receivers, but the running game is phenomenal. Right? Can't beat that guy. Is a grinder. He is a force. So I think at the end of the day, it's going to be close, you know. But I'm gonna lean towards Seattle. I think.
I'm picking Seattle. When you look at the coaching, I have to give the edge to neither. I think they're equal. There's no edge. Vrabel hasn't had the experience. Either has oh Jesus, now I forgot Seattle's coach's name. Long-term coaching experience. I believe they're both equal to me. Offense, I think, is clearly in the Seattle's favor. Defense, I think, is completely in Seattle's favor. They were the number one scoring defense in the NFL.
Well, we're going to
They
see.
don't allow points.
We're going to see.
And quarterback play, I'm going to tell you it's even. To me, this game comes even. And the intangibles or what gives me Seattle the edge is their defense is going to create offense for them. I think the defense is going to create some turnovers and put New England in uncompromising position, and they're going to run away with this game 38-14.
I can't predict that. No way it's going to be that big deficit. I'm looking for a tighter game. I'm looking for somewhere around.
So here's what I'm going to tell you. Let me just say. So when New England went to Denver, they won that game because Denver lost the game. I don't think New England won that game. They didn't do anything that dominated in that game. They were given gifts. And yes, you win games that way. This is the Super Bowl. I don't think you're getting away with that.
No,
I really feel that Drake May is going to show his sophomore slump at the most inopportune time in the Super Bowl.
I disagree.
I believe that front four, DeMarcus Lawrence, Leonard Williams, are going to be in his jock and create 3 interceptions and create havoc. I don't think Ramondre Stevenson or anyone's going to get anything rolling in the run game. And I believe Seattle is going to win in a laugher.
I disagree. I think it's going to be a tie. I just don't see the Patriots, rolling over like that. I think Drake is capable, and I think he's going to make it a game. I think it's going to be tighter than people anticipate. I don't know a score. I'm not going to go that far, but it's going to be a close game, closer than people think. And who knows? It's a Super Bowl. Anything can happen. Anything can happen. Nice. Well, guys, we're going to wrap it up. Thanks for listening. Thanks for being here for us.
I'm picking Seattle.
And I'm going to go with Seattle, too, in a close one.
I say blowout.
All right. We'll see you later.
Okay, bye.
I like it. I'm getting into a good rhythm.